Hi everyone, I've been working on a project where I paint people from my hometown in Wandsworth as modern day tarot cards on canvas. And in this video, I'll be interviewing Jim, who has kindly agreed to represent the Lover's Tarot card and share his stories about the local area and the woman who was the love of his life.
My name is Jim Spink. I forgot what I said last time.
So you could say you could say that your name is Jim and you are a local resident.
Yeah, that's it. I'm a local resident in Battersea, Wandsworth and all around that area. I grew up in 20 Stewart's Lane, where I had the best childhood of my life. I think, as I said earlier, Battersea Park was our playground. We used to go over to the fun fair, over there for the Easter parades, which was so colourful and nice. And after the Easter parade had gone, the fun fair itself would open. And it was good in there. We had to pay to get in. Well, the amount of times we bunked in was unbelievable. But you still got in. When we lived in Stewart's Lane, it's all gone now, but if you come out the front door and just stand on the balcony and look, you've got the power station in full bloom with the 4 chimneys all blaring out with smoke. You had the steam trains going across the front of you, all blaring out with smoke. You had a train line at the side, a train line at the back, and another train line over on the right. So we were in the middle of a train, the train section. So look at that power station. I wish it was still working now, because it was a sight to see. Absolutely brilliant. The change of Battersea is, for Battersea people born and bred, it isn't the same no more. It's changed so much. If I could turn the clock back 30 years, I would. Because I do miss the shops and Battersea High Street. That was a iconic place at the time. Because you could go down there and not move. Because there'd be so many people down there, so many stalls. Fish stalls, meat stalls, this stall, that stall, everything else. That was brilliant. And after I'd do the shopping with my mum, when I was 10, 11, we'd always go in Maggie Brown's for a pie mash. And that's the best pie mash they've ever made. Now, I was working at Murray Blanche. While I was working there, I met my future wife, who I'd actually known for about 10 years beforehand. She was 17 when she went with a friend of mine, but he wasn't a very good bloke. They promised to get married. Their wedding date was coming up. He didn't want to get married, he just wanted to live together. So she threw an engagement ring back at him, and about 2 months later, she come up to my flat with a friend of ours. He was going back in the army, and Ray said, "Oh, come and have a drink, Jim, come and have a drink." And they were standing behind, who was my future wife. She said, "Oh, please come." I said, "Oh, no." But Mum butted in and said, "Go and have a drink with Ray now." So, went and had a drink, and I said to Ray, "Where's Antoinette?" He said, "I don't know, I think she's outside the door." So I walked out there. She was standing there, tears in her eyes. I said, "What on earth are you crying for?" "Oh, over that idiot who I was engaged to, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that." I said, "But why are you crying over it?" "I don't know," she said. I said, "Okay." I said, "You look as though you're cold." She said, "I am." So me being a gentleman, took my jacket off and wrapped round her. Said it was in November. "Oh, thank you," she said. I said, "Well, stop crying then, and we can have a little conversation." So she did, and we were just talking rubbish, really. Got a bit late, and I was getting tired now, so I said, "Come on, I'll take you home." Got outside her door, I said, "There you go, home safe and sound." And before she went in, I said, "Do you want to have a drink tomorrow night?" "Oh, yes, please." I said, "Okay, then I'll come pick you up." And that was the start of the relationship, and we ended up getting married. Had a lovely son called Richard, and just over a year later, my daughter come along, Tracy, absolutely gorgeous. As 2 children, 2 young children, they were absolutely brilliant. No complaints whatsoever with him. Then a few years later, someone else came along, called David. After that, 7 years later, actually, the youngest son, James, came along, which I was a bit apprehensive about, first of all, because I said to my wife, we got 3, the money isn't great at the moment, but why do you want another one? And her answer was, I don't like odd numbers. And then as the years rolled on, we got to, I think it was about 2003. My wife come home from school where she worked, and rolling around on the bed in absolute sheer agony. We had to call an ambulance for her on Christmas Eve. Went up to the hospital. They done an X-ray, and they said there's a little bit of a shadow, but we think it's just an infection. And then we got a letter. They need to do a test so they can get a biopsy done. And I was there with her. I couldn't go in with her naturally, but they done their biopsy. I'd been pacing up and down like a yo-yo. And I see her sitting on the bed, and she smiled and waved. So that put me at ease a little bit, until we got the results, which come back as cancer. And I asked this doctor a question, and she said to me, no more than 12 months. I knew what that meant. I said, right, come on then, we're going. We went out, and we walking along the road, and she stopped. And this is where I told my wife a big lie. She said to me, did she say I've only got 12 months to live? I said, no. I said, what she said, we'll know more in 12 months' time. And I think by me saying that, that's what kept her going for another practically 4 years. And then we got to 2007, is when the cancer really struck. The doctors were surprised that she lasted that long. I insisted, when she got really, really bad, on taking her home. Because she always made me promise that she would never be in pain. And that's one thing I did do. 2007, March 24th, is when she passed away. I've been on my own ever since. Not been interested in any other woman, because I said I would never do that. And got on with them in life the best I could. Which was sometimes easy, sometimes bloody hard. Because we had a very strong relationship. We had our arguments, as I said earlier, like everybody does. We had our ups and downs. But as the children got older, we got closer, and we were able then to have our weekends away, do what we want, go where what we want. It was really, really incredible. And I loved every minute, and so did my wife. We was always, as far as I'm concerned, I think Anne was as well, we were a special couple. Because in no way we had ever parted, except within death. We walk along, and it might sound corny to other people, but we walk along holding hands. And it's something I loved. I wish I could do it now, but I can't. She was a good housewife and a good cook. She'd get her words mixed up all the time. She'd say things that she didn't know the meaning of. When she done a spring clean, she would start in the front room. When that was done, no one was allowed in there. One of the last things she did was the kitchen. So she would do the kitchen and work her way out into the passage. So we'd all end up outside the front door, sitting on bloody stairs. And she made us do that time after time. And when she'd done the passage, she would be out there sitting on the stairs with us until everything dried off. Then you was allowed back in the house. Right, the asparagus, it was good. It was a local pub, and enjoyed going in there because you could get a meal. We loved it being in there. People we knew, people we didn't know, but my youngest son ended up calling it God's waiting room because it was the same old faces time after time after time. Normally, on the day my wife passed away, that certain date, on her birthday and Christmas Eve, I normally go to the pub on my own, and I always buy 2 drinks. My drink and a brandy was what Anne would drink, but Anne would have a brandy and coke, and I would sit there have a drop of mine, have a drop of the brandy and say, Happy Christmas or Happy Birthday or whatever the case. And then I would down the brandy, and that's the only one I would have. And then I would just sit there drinking my beer. But that was a done thing every year, to remember my wife. To know that she's sitting next to me, she's sitting there, but I can't see her, but I know she's there. Sitting by my side is a relief on me. Don't pick an argument, because that never works. Don't try and end an argument being negative. Don't argue over money. You know, if we haven't got it to buy it, save up for it. Just be loving and caring. And if you like, bring your wife a bunch of flowers in now and again. I used to bring my wife a plant in now and again, and she was always over the moon with it. Don't argue over children. You've got to work together to make things work. Just enjoy life the best you can, and you make the most of it.